This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. 2,300, yes, fucking 2,300 interviews I have done. And today is my 2,300th interview, and I will be talking to the gorgeous, the talented Linda Kerridge. Linda was the Marilyn Monroe look-alike in the classic movies Fade to Black and Stranger's Kiss, and she was one of the Vicious Lips members in Vicious Lips. She'll be my third guest from that movie, and she'll be my second band member, or actually technically third, because Angela O'Neill was technically a member of the group in the movie. And I am so excited. I cannot wait. I've been wondering for years, what happened to her and stuff. She was married to another guest of mine, Corey Parker, back in the day, which would have made her the sister-in-law of another guest of mine, Noelle Parker. And it's funny how these paths cross, but I can't believe it. I know I've said it a million times. When I started this podcast, I didn't know I was going to get past 10 episodes, but 2,300, it just makes me so humble. I'm so glad that people continue to listen, and I just feel so grateful about it. It's just fucking profound, and I'm so glad that I get to talk to Linda today as my 2,300th guest. Also, happy birthday to Eddie Schumacher. Yes, Eddie Schumacher, sweet guy. I had him on here back in 21 around Christmas time. He was in the remake of Miracle on 34th Street. Today is his birthday. So happy birthday, Eddie. So yeah, here is my interview with Linda Kerridge. Hey, Linda, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Today is my 2,300th episode, and I thank you so much for coming on because I've been a fan forever.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
That's-
So, going back in time, I was reading that you were originally on the trajectory of art and you went to art school in London. Like, when did that start for you? What age?
Oh no, that was in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
I went. I did move to London
Hmm.
a few years later, but that was for modeling and things like that.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, did you always love art?
Yeah, yeah. I still paint. I come from a long line of artists,
Yeah.
Australian artists. Yeah,
Yeah. So, did you
yeah.
did you spend a lot of time in galleries growing up?
Well, I grew up on a farm, so there were no galleries anywhere. But my mother was a painter, so.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So we did, we did. My grandmother was a painter. My great grandfather was a designer, and his brother was a famous painter here. So yeah, there's just painters all throughout the family.
Really? So, did anybody in your family collect art?
Yeah, well, basically all of them did. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're able to go to auctions and, do the going once, going twice, sold.
Well, a lot of them, a lot of the art that we have, um, my great grandfather and his brother, they knew all these famous artists, so they would all like swap paintings and give each other paintings. So we didn't actually have to buy any.
Hmm.
But my mother ended up selling lots of them to get lots of money.
Yeah. She didn't want to be a hoarder.
Well, yeah, she was a bit of a hoarder.
Oh. But not for paintings though. She had to get rid of them.
Yeah, well, she got a lot of money for them, so that's why she ended up selling them.
Of course. I mean,
We
art.
still have a lot left. Yeah.
You got Picasso's and Michelangelo's and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, sure. No, no, just Australian artists.
Oh, okay. I can't even mention an Australian artist. Like, who are some artists that you can recommend?
Oh, well, I mean, the thing is, you probably wouldn't know who they were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were a lot of great artists during the Impressionist times in Australia too,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if you would have heard of them. But my mother's cousin's father was Sidney Nolan. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He was very
Sounds
famous.
familiar. Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along.
So, how did modeling come about for you?
Um, I think that came about because I just didn't know what the hell I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to make some money.
Did you know early on or realize early on that you looked like Marilyn Monroe?
No, I never thought I looked like her. My my grandmother and her sister used to say so, but I never thought so.
Uh-huh.
And a couple of other people, like mothers of friends in high school, would say that I looked like her, and I just
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see it at all. But
Right.
then later on, um, I guess for modeling, photographers started saying, you look like her through the lens. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how it sort of started. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you a huge fan of hers?
Pardon?
Were you a huge fan of hers? You know, of her
Oh,
movies.
yes. Why I started to look at her movies and read books and things. Yeah, when I was a teenager, so I became a huge fan of hers. Yes.
The 7 Year Itch. Oh my God, one of the funniest comedies ever. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. And Billy Wilder, such a great director.
Yes, and it's funny. It's considered to be not one of the best Marilyn or Billy Wilder movies, and I found out recently the reason why is because people who saw the play was a purist of the play because the play was much more body where because you couldn't do a body movie in 1955, so
No.
it was ahead of its time. you know
Yes. Oh, I think it's great. I think it's a great movie.
it is. Oh my God, it's funny the comedy and the slapstick of
Yeah, it's
of
hilarious.
Tom Ewell.
Mm,
Yeah, he's fantastic.
yeah,
so
I
when
love
you
it.
so when you modeled, did you have fun doing that?
Um, like sometimes it was fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got to travel a lot and go to lots of different countries. So yes, it was fun in that way. But I think any business where you're primarily focused on how you look instead of who you are
Mm-hmm.
is detrimental to your psyche. And I think I was, yeah, not, I don't think I was really grounded or felt true happiness. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do a lot of traveling internationally?
Yes, I did. I went to all the countries in Europe and, yeah, I did get to do a lot of traveling, which was really nice.
Yeah. Some of your favorite places to travel were like in Europe.
Um, Let me think. I suppose a long time ago. I really liked visiting Paris.
hmm
I didn't like living there, but I liked visiting there. Um, I loved Italy. Oh, I think Italy was my favorite. I loved Sicily.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think the sort of more Mediterranean countries I really like the best because I love the
hmm
weather and it's just beautiful.
Did you get to see New York and L.A. for the first time at that time?
Yes, I did. I went to New York. I decided I had to get out of London because I one day I just realized I hadn't seen the sun for about 2 years,
Yeah.
and I just thought I felt like a flower that was just like dying in the field, and I thought I've got to get out of here because I grew up in the sun and a sunny place, and it was dreadful after a while. I just felt awful, and so I decided to go back to Australia and make a stop off on the way in New York and in LA. And so that was I think it was 1978.
Yeah.
So I went to New York and stayed at the Algonquin Hotel, and yeah, New York it was like being in a movie. I couldn't believe it. All the yellow cabs and everything, just like I'd seen in the movies. It was amazing back then too, New York. And then I went to LA and never left.
Wow. And so, how does acting?
Well, I did leave. I did leave.
Yeah.
I'm in Australia now, but I mean, I stayed there for like about 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does acting come to you?
It was really never a plan of mine at all. But I was walking with a friend. Oh, that's my dog. I was walking with a friend down La Cienega Boulevard. Oh, not La Cienega. I think it was it was somewhere like that, in Hollywood, and West Hollywood, and this producer and his friend, who I'd met in London just briefly, was driving past, and he just pulled over and he said, "Hey, do you want to be in a movie?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" And that's how Fade to Black happened.
Oh, before we get to Fade to Black, I wanted to bring up, I had no idea that you had like just a quick scene in Richard Lewis's Diary of a Young Comic.
Oh yeah. There was a few scenes in that. Yeah.
The one that scene I remembered when I went back and watched it was the one where you asked for, was it dietated Butrix or something like that.
What was it?
I don't know what it was. Dietated Butrix or something. You said it with such a heavy accent, I couldn't understand.
I don't know. I have no idea what that is either.
Yeah, you knocked on his hotel door because he had just arrived in L.A. You know, in the special. But I was a huge Richard Lewis fan. I saw him live in 2015, and you know he wasn't crazy like he had been. He was very subdued on stage by that point, and he was still hilarious. But like working with him, what was that like?
Oh, it was great. I had such a huge crush on him. I know he was in a relationship with Nina Van Pallant, you know, and so he was a bit older than me, like quite a bit older than me, but you know, I had such a crush on him.
Yeah, I'm sure if you told him, he would say, "Are you sure?" Because that was his persona, you know, the self-loathing Jewish guy from New York.
Yes.
I loved him.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was great.
What was it?
I just saw the very last episodes that he was in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how sick he looked.
Yeah.
He looked like he'd already passed over. My goodness, I got such a shock.
He had a podcast the last year he was alive on Zoom, and I saw how frail he was. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, my goodness. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he was still standing.
I mean, he looked frail when I saw him in 2015, but nothing to be alarmed about, you know. But I'm sure that was the beginning of it, you know.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, he wasn't very old, really.
What was your experience like with Gary Weiss as director?
Oh, I liked him. Yeah, I liked him a lot. He was nice.
You're the first person to tell me that.
Oh, really? I got on with everyone on that. But I usually do get on with everyone unless they're really horrible.
Well, he was horrible to me when I interviewed him a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't even know he was still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only time I ever saw him was during that movie. But he was nice to me.
Yeah, I love his work, but sometimes you shouldn't meet your idols.
Yeah, probably.
It's sad. So you just got discovered on a street corner to be cast in Fade to Black. That's a real
Yeah.
70s like story because that doesn't happen nowadays.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. It was I guess it was fate.
Yeah. I interviewed your friend in the movie, Marcy Barkin.
Oh yeah.
She's still acting. I love her. She's a
Oh
wonderful
yeah.
lady.
Oh great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't. I haven't seen anyone much. I mean, I've been in Australia for a long time now, so I haven't seen anyone for a long time.
Well, I discovered this movie later in life, and I love it. It's very just effective. Dennis Christopher, I can't imagine anyone else playing this role besides him. He is so creepy, and it's a far cry from his breaking away role that he played at the time. It was just
Yeah.
him stretching his dramatic chops.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But he was
Yeah. It was all a new experience to me. Who I'd never been on a movie set, so it was
but
amazing.
but were you comfortable though? Like was it a good experience overall?
Oh yeah, no, it was really fun. It was really, really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I think it deserves more recognition. I think it's one of the best horror thrillers of 1980, along with The Shining, Friday the 13th, and Dressed to Kill. Like, in that whole year, there were some good horror thrillers, and I think this is one of them.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's nice because I love The Shining. I think it's one of my top favorite horror movies.
That was the first horror
I mean,
movie I ever saw.
oh really?
Yeah, I was only a year
Yes.
old.
You were only you were only 1 year old when it came out.
Yeah, my parents, we got HBO that year in
Yeah,
1984, and it was
yeah,
on all the time. And my parents love Jack Nicholson. They're not horror fans, but they love Jack Nicholson. So we
yeah,
watched it, and when I was 7, I revisited it, and I was like, okay, it's not that scary. So now it's one of my favorites.
yeah. It's so good. It's amazingly stylish. My other favorite horror movie is Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby, yes,
Yeah, I
that's
think it's brilliant.
that is a brilliant film. I got to interview the Japanese photographer in it before he died,
Oh wow.
Ernest Harada.
So I didn't realize you were so young.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be 42 in June.
Oh wow. No, well, when you say 1984, just that seems so young to me.
I still feel like I
Oh,
graduated high school yesterday.
so do I.
I guess we're as old as we feel.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I never saw this one, but after Fade to Black, you did a short film called Go West, Young Man.
Oh, I think I did that before Fade to Black.
Okay, because I
But it was just I've never done anything. I can't even remember how it happened, but it was just very short. I just think I did a couple of scenes or something in something. I hardly remember it, but yeah, that was the very first thing I think I'd ever done.
Karel Stryken was in it. I've met him and I've interviewed him. Great man.
Oh, yeah,
Great.
I barely remember it. Hmm.
Yeah, he of course went on to become Lurch in the Abs Family remakes.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, every role he does, he says nothing. He just stands there looking all scary and intimidating. But he's a
Nice work if you can get it.
yeah, but he's a great man, and he's got an accent of his own, you know. How
Yeah.
how is making strangers kiss?
Um, well, the story behind that was a friend of mine was had written it. He was in it,
Mm.
Blaine. And was supposed to be for me to be in the lead,
Uh-huh.
and evidently Victoria Tennant's either her, I think it was her, put up, she comes from a wealthy family. She put up a lot of the money for it, so they gave her
Hmm.
the lead.
Wow.
And and Blaine told me, oh, Michael White, the producer, didn't want you for the lead. He wanted her.
Mm-hmm.
and then I ran into Michael White, and he said, oh, how come you didn't play the lead? I would have rather you play the lead. So, so much bullshit in Hollywood.
Yeah, I have a friend. Her name is Marie Lauren. She's a French-Canadian actress. And Steve Martin wanted her for his movie All of Me, to play the role that Victoria Tennant ended up playing. And so she too lost the role to Victoria Tennant. And the irony is, Victoria Tennant married Steve Martin. And she thinks sometimes, what if I had done that role and married Steve Martin? you know?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Wasn't meant to be, I guess.
No. I've talked to Dan Shore. He's a very funny, very talented guy. He played the producer in Stranger's Kiss. Do you remember working with him?
Oh, yeah, I think I do. Yeah. And who else was in Peter Coyote?
Peter Coyote, another great actor.
Mm.
He played.
I had one. I had one really good scene that got cut because they lost the light.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so they lost light and they cut it out?
Well, yeah, it was getting really dark in the afternoon, and the film that they shot was too dark, so I ended up on the cutting room floor.
So they didn't think they were going to be able to match continuity, so they just cut it.
They just cut the scene and changed. Yeah, I had a bigger part before, and so then they just changed it, and I ended up with a smaller part.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Richard Romanus was in it. I've interviewed.
That's right. Yeah.
I've interviewed his brother and his ex-wife, coincidentally.
Oh, yeah. We've met everyone.
Everyone. It's amazing. It's amazing. How does Surf 2 come to you?
That was from the same producers who did Fade to Black.
Okay.
That's how that came about. But if that direction, now that I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, but
okay,
everyone had a problem with that director.
Yeah, I've talked to a few people from the movie.
Oh my goodness, I've never come across anyone like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, God, there's lots of names in this movie. I mean, I've talked to Corinne. I've talked to Peter Isaacson. And I've met Terry Kaiser, one of the sweetest guys in the world. Eric Stoltz was in it, Tom Villard, Ralph Seymour, Josh Cadman, Eddie Deason. Of course, you played his informant.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, God, if you saw him now, you wouldn't believe what a mess he is. Was he a mess then?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he had a controversy a couple of years ago, which we don't need to get into.
Oh, okay. Sounds interesting.
But working with him though, what was that like? Was he just making you laugh all day?
Not really. Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I don't remember laughing all day. It was a strange set, that one, because the director was so angry all the time.
Yeah. Well, I was curious.
So, yeah.
Well, I was curious though, like, because you had been in Playboy, did they want you to get naked and you didn't want to do that?
Oh, no, not for that movie.
Okay.
That was and they made me do Playboy. It wasn't that I wanted to do it.
Well, yeah.
It was like they said you can either do it or you'll. Anyway, so it's a long story.
I
long
know.
Story, but yeah. But,
I know an actress who's no longer with us. She had a similar experience, except she said, "Fuck you, I'm not going to do it," and her career was over after that, sadly. But I can imagine.
Yeah. Well, so many things happen like that in my career. Like I was supposed to do this like softcore porn movie in Paris. John Casablancas tried to get me to do this, and I said I didn't want to do it, and he became furious. And said he was going to sue me and all this stuff. And so I just packed my bags and I moved to London because I was living in Paris then.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he called me up in London and said, "You'll never be anything.
Mm-hmm.
You'll..." He was screaming on the phone. Oh my goodness. It was just a nightmare, that whole experience in Paris.
I'm sorry about that. Um, but I was curious, they made your hair go like blue punk rock style in Surf 2.
Yeah.
That must have been a pain in the ass to like, do that every day.
Yeah, I remember they were experimenting with all this strange makeup, but all those colors they put on me.
Yeah.
I remember I came to work the next day, my entire face was swollen up like a plum because I was allergic to it.
Yeah. God.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
So itchy.
Nowadays they would get something that wouldn't make you allergic, but back then they were like, this is all we got, so just use it for now because pain is temporary and film is forever.
Yeah, it was awful. I remember my eyes were like golf balls. Oh my God. Um,
Um,
mm.
what was it like working with Paul Morrissey on Mixed Blood?
Oh, I loved him. He was the best. We had such a good friendship,
Mm-hmm.
and he was such an unusual person.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we all stayed at his apartment in New York when we were filming.
Mm-hmm.
He had this enormous apartment on 61st and Madison,
Mm-hmm.
and it was absolutely a massive, massive apartment. So, a lot of the guys in that movie, he just found them on the street. And so we were all staying in this his apartment, and there was really nobody doing wardrobe and makeup and hair and all, because it was very low budget. So I just did all that, and all the boys in it were all wearing my clothes. Oh my goodness.
When I was 13 and I was starting to notice that I was different, I watched a lot of underground, almost bohemian experimental films, and I got into Andy Warhol's Frankenstein and Dracula because Paul Morrissey directed those, and
Yeah.
I was like, these are so subversive and so different. They're different takes on the Frankenstein and Dracula myths, and I was like, God, Morrissey is a great filmmaker. I heard he died a bitter man though, sadly.
Yeah, well, he sort of got dementia, so
Hmm.
I think he didn't really know too much about anything by that stage, I think.
Yeah.
But he was really, I don't know, he's a different type of person. He was somebody who just always, he was very truthful,
Hmm.
which I liked. But I really had fun with him. And at night, he and I would like write scenes together for the
Yeah.
movie for the next day.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, I had a good time with him.
That is great. That's great to hear. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine going from Surf 2 to Mixed Blood. I think you had to go through hell to get through heaven. You know.
Yeah. I remember it was full on though, because we were in New York. We were working in the Lower East Side, and it was freezing cold because I think it was like late January, and it
Yeah.
was so cold. And we were working really hard, and I was doing like so much. I was doing all the wardrobe for all the kids and myself, and doing hair and makeup, and also then we're staying up really late at night writing the scenes and stuff.
Hmm.
And I remember being so tired that in one of the scenes that I fell asleep in the middle. We were sitting on a bed, and I fell asleep in the middle of the scene, but nobody seemed to notice.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to watch a little bit of the movie the other night, but I didn't get into it. But I respect the fact it's Paul Morrissey, because I love those Andy Warhol movies he made.
Yeah, yeah. No, I really liked him. We had fun. I never laughed so much.
Did you stay in touch with him until he passed?
I I was in touch with him through another friend of mine who was friends with him, but didn't see him for a long. I mean, I've been living in Australia for such a long time that
Hmm.
I lost contact with a lot of people.
Yeah. I love Vicious Lips. It's one of my favorite Empire movies and of Albert's. He was such a genius. He could have been a mainstream filmmaker, I feel. He was so good. And you did three movies with him, and
Yeah.
Vicious Lips was the first. I just love it. Like, I don't know, can are you like a piano player? Can you play keyboards? Is that how you got the part?
No, I can't play anything.
No.
It's fake.
Well,
I don't think none of us could play anything. It was just all put in later.
yeah. So like was it just a standard audition or did somebody you know help you get this part or something?
Um, I I thought I did down. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought I did Down Twisted first.
Okay, yeah, 'cause, Down Twisted came after, so maybe it was shot first and then
I
Vicious
I think
Lips.
yeah I think we shot that one first.
Okay.
I think yeah. So he already knew me.
Okay.
That's why I got that. Yeah.
Yeah, Drew, she's been on the podcast twice. I love her. I adore her so
Yeah.
much. She's still adorable. And I just
Oh.
love the vulnerability she brought to playing Judy Jetson. You know, that's her character's name. And
Yeah.
I just I just think she's great. And I love how your character is so kind and more sensitive to her than the rest of the girls. And it's funny. I thought you two were going to have a lesbian romance in this movie because you're like you say something like "I look ugly," and she's like, "No, your face is beautiful" or something. I thought that was going to lead to a lesbian moment.
No, none of that stuff. But I
No.
was friends with her. I was friends with her during the shooting. I did really like her. She's a really sweet person.
Yes, and she loves my sense of humor, and she loves how bluntly honest I am, and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like she's got this mixture of Southern pride with or Southern hospitality with a little bit of like the punk rock fuck you attitude, which is perfect for this character she played.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen all these things since, they came out, so I barely remember.
Well, you have to remember you took a space age shower in this movie.
Yeah, I kind of have a memory of that.
Yeah. And it's funny, Albert did that movie Radioactive Dreams before this, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw it, but there's like blue coloring on the camera lens in that movie, and like Albert would do that sometimes. He was really good with the visual part of making a movie with all these like elaborate colors, and then doing that shower sequence. It's so good. I love it.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, I got on great with him. He was really, really a nice person.
Yeah, did you stay in touch with him?
Yeah, I did. Actually was going to do another movie with him, like about a couple of years before he died. But I had to go to India, so I couldn't go. I already had a booked trip and everything, so I didn't end up doing it. I don't even know if he ended up doing it.
Yeah, I reached out to him in 2019. He told me to message his wife to schedule an interview. I did, and I never heard from her. She read the message. And then a few years ago, I talked to this woman who makes documentaries, and she was working on a documentary about Albert when he was still alive. And she told me that the two of them had a very complicated marriage. That's probably why I didn't hear back from her. But, like, I think the documentary is, like, finished now, and I don't know
Oh,
if it's going to be released or not, but I'm looking forward to it because I think he was one of the best like low budget filmmakers of the 80s.
oh wow. He would have loved to hear that.
Yeah,
That's just yeah.
he did so many good ones. He would do two or three a year, for like 25, 30 years. I mean, he was pounding them out because back then, people in the exploitation world, they couldn't get movies going in the theaters anymore because the theaters had become so mainstream. The grindhouses closed down, so they would make movies for home video.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's yeah. I
I,
know.
but
It was going to be an interesting part I was going to do I think it was around 2019, but then I ended up not being able to do it because I was already going somewhere, so I don't even know if he ended up doing that one.
yeah,
I
I
can't even remember what it was called. I
I
mean, because he was already getting pretty sick by then.
yeah. I couldn't tell you offhand, when he stopped making movies, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was always trying to get something done, even when he got sick.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I love that
Yeah.
line. I love that line you have when you're like, I don't know, you're cleaning out something, and you're like, whose hair is this?
You can remember my lines better than I can.
Oh yeah, are we in heaven? No, but your wig's off. Does it?
I do. I remember writing that line.
Yeah.
I made up a lot of my own jokes.
Oh, that's good. Does anybody know
Yeah.
whatever happened to Gina Calabrese or Shane Ferris?
Um, I don't know. Someone did tell me something about her, but I can't remember now. Gosh, it's been such a long time.
Yeah, the dead band member who comes back at the end with the
Yeah,
blue face, Angela O'Neill. I've had her on here
yeah.
twice.
Oh,
She's a singer now out in L.A.
oh, I can't really remember that. Be honest, because it's such a long time ago.
I know
I remember
Drew.
a few things.
I know Drew doesn't remember Angela either, and Angela doesn't remember you girls.
Oh, she might have filmed at a different time. That's why.
Maybe,
If we didn't have scenes together, she probably wouldn't know us.
maybe she was like added later or something. It was a quick in
Yeah,
and out
I
kind of a
think.
thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But she has that great line, "Stole my name, bitch."
Oh, yeah, I don't remember her.
Yeah, it's so brilliant. Well, it's funny. She was gorgeous back then, and now you see her, you think she's Melissa McCarthy. She gets mistaken for her all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they look identical.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but she's a very talented musician, though.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, well.
in Alien from L.A., Kathy Ireland plays a nerdy girl with an annoying voice. That that
Yeah.
that that must have been either funny or nerve wracking to have to hear that voice.
That was her real voice.
Oh, it was because it sounds like
Yeah.
slightly altered, for her to be nerdy.
No, no, that's her real voice. She's got a really high, squeaky voice.
I've heard she's very, very
And
nice.
she is. She's really nice. But I think she tried to lower it a bit, actually, for the movie.
I thought she just, took it up a couple notches. You know what I mean? The like.
No, I think no, she was trying to, like, lower her voice for the movie. Like, make it a bit lower. Because her voice is even higher than that.
Try to sound like Urkel. Oh, hi, hey, everybody.
Her voice is extremely high, yeah.
It is.
She's really nice, though. Yeah, she's really nice.
It is, but I just thought,
And
yeah, go ahead.
and she had really tiny feet. I remember that.
Yeah, she does have tiny feet. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I used to see her, modeling pictures when I was a kid. Because
Oh, right.
you have to remember,
Yeah.
I'm a guy.
That's funny.
To see her in the
Yeah.
bikinis and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
she does have tiny feet. I remember.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So doing 3 movies with Albert. Yeah, that's so great. You got to work with him. Now, what was the moment when you when I don't know if you decided or it just happened that you got out of the business?
Um. Well, I'd had a child,
Hmm.
and was in a relationship with the my son's father,
Corey.
and yeah, and well, a bad relationship, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had. I came back here just to sort of get away, be honest.
Yeah.
I
I've
came back to Australia to escape the insanity.
your name never came up, and I usually don't bring up the exes, but like I've talked to Corey and I've talked to Noel, and I had good experiences talking to them. I thought that they were very nice people. But I'm curious, how did you meet Corey?
Just through friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I had the biggest crush on Noel when I was a kid. I used to watch Ernest Saves Christmas, you know.
Oh, yeah. She's been very sick, you know.
I know. I see it. I've
Yeah.
seen it on social media. She doesn't even have to tell me. I see it. It's sad, but
Yeah.
she's a great lady though. But
Yeah. So yeah.
she was a cutie
She's got.
patootie when she was young though.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Yeah. They're both sick, both Corey and her.
Oh God, I didn't know about Corey. I feel so bad.
Mm.
So do you talk to
Yeah.
them regularly?
Um. Well, no, not Noel, but of course, because my son still talks to his father sometimes. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're in touch. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So life is good now. Are you happy at least?
Oh yeah, no, it's good. It's really peaceful here, and I really like it.
Yeah. How long have you been back in Australia for?
Oh God. Um, let's see now. About 25 years or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my uncle, he had a relationship with an Australian woman when he was in his early 20s, and had a kid with her, and she was like an aunt to me, and she was Australian, and just I love the Australians. They're just the nicest people. You know, they never say anything bad about anybody. You have to really piss them off in order to get them to do that. And I miss her dearly. She died 5 years ago or something, 4 or 5 years ago. And I just love the Australians, you know. I mean, Crocodile Dundee put you guys on the map, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
And ACDC.
Yeah.
Even though
That's great.
there's a couple Englishmen in the band, but still, you know, their roots are Australia. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember growing up with the Easy Beats when they did Friday on My Mind.
Oh my God, I used to love that song. Oh, that really takes me back.
Yeah, yeah,
They were great.
because it's right at the height of Beatlemania. Everyone wanted to be the Beatles, and
Mm.
even the Australians did with the Easy Beats. It was great, you know.
Mm. They were great though. They were really good.
Yeah, and George, he ended up, you know, producing his brothers when they first started.
Oh, really?
When they first started in ACDC, he produced like I think the first four albums or something.
Oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
think he even wrote a couple of their songs with them too, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, wow.
How
They're
did
really talented.
yeah? How did you meet Tessa?
Um, we met at Richard Simmons had an exercise class at a place called Roughage,
Hmm.
and I met her there, and we just connected immediately.
Yeah, I yeah I had reached out to her in 2017, and then finally in 22, a friend of mine who had interviewed her connected her with me, and I grew up watching everything she was in, and she's always been one of my favorites. And just the fact that I have the privilege of texting her and talking on the phone with her is a gift. I mean, it is a gift from God.
Oh, yeah, I talk to her all the time too. She's great.
I just love her. Yeah, she's a gem, and
Yeah, we
she's
had fun. Actually, we really had fun. We used to laugh so much because
yeah.
we both do impressions of people, and
Hmm.
we would just do impressions of everyone. Honestly, we used to just crack up, and we used to do the craziest things together. Oh my God, she's a riot.
Yes, I just love her, and she's got great stories, and she's just funny, very funny too.
Yeah, she's really fun.
So we gotta play my secret silly game. This is a series of silly slumber party questions. It's not win or lose, it's just pure fun. And how the game works, Linda, is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me that exact same question and I answer it. And feel free to comment on the answers because they might be funny.
Okay,
Linda, are you ticklish?
extremely. Are you?
Yes. If you tickle me without warning, though, I might hit you in the groin.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make a note of that.
Everybody does. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
Any.
Okay.
And what about you?
Also an innie.
Okay, well, that's good.
What color are your toenails painted?
Um, right now,
Mm-hmm.
they're not.
Okay.
And what about yours?
Mine are black and pink for Valentine's Day.
Oh, but oh gosh, what's the date today?
Today is the 7th, so I started
Oh right.
last weekend. I started painting them.
Oh, you sort of celebrate a week ahead, do you?
Well, no, I do it for the entire month.
Oh, the entire month. Wow.
Yeah, like
Okay, well, I will paint mine though. I'll think I might do a some sort of pink and black sounds nice.
yeah, I did gold and silver for New Year's, and I did it for the whole month. Now, generally, I don't paint my toenails black because my mom thinks they look gross, but I don't know, I had to do it just for this time. I had to do it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll go. Might not paint them black. I don't think. We'll see.
What would you say is your best personality trait?
Oh gosh. Well, I love to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me and my son, we just crack up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love to laugh, and I love animals. Maybe
Love
they're
it.
my two best things.
Love it. And for me,
Pardon?
and for me,
Oh yeah, for you. Oh, sorry. What's your most wonderful character
trait.
um,
I
trait? Yeah.
I have empathy and I have no filter.
Oh, empathy's good. Yeah, that's a good one. I think I've got some empathy, but having no filter, that can be good. It can be dangerous though.
I'm a Gemini. What can I say?
Oh, right. Okay. So that's why you get on well with Tessa,
Yes, because she's a
because
Sagittarius.
she's a,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're her opposite. Yeah.
Yes. What are your guilty pleasures?
My guilty, um, I think, chocolate
Ah, love it.
and, let's see, frozen coconut yogurt. I'm into that right now.
Nice.
Mm. But yeah, I don't really think I have any other ones. Peanut butter, because it's,
Oh,
I do, I, I shouldn't really eat it because it makes me feel sick, but I love it.
I know.
Yeah, I suppose that's my guiltiest pleasures. What about you?
Pizza and watching a raunchy sex comedy movie.
Yeah, well, I like to eat frozen coconut yogurt and watch Curb Your Enthusiasm with my son.
That's good.
That's our latest thing.
If you could have anything named after you, what would it be?
Oh God, never thought of that before because I don't like to draw attention to myself.
Really?
um, what would it be? Mm, a flower,
A flower.
a pretty flower.
Love it. I love how
What
you
about you?
I love how you sounded like Marilyn just now. me, a vibrator.
Oh, okay.
I would call
That's
it
interesting.
I would call it the Tommy Chatsy. And then my favorite and then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Well, there's probably a few. Um, dog poo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, there's this really disgusting fertilizer that my neighbor uses called dynamic lifter.
Wow.
It's so vile. I
Yeah.
would say that was the other thing. Yeah. Cat poo's gross too, though. Yeah.
Oh, I got two cats. I know.
I've got two cats too. So what are yours?
Either
What are your worst smells?
either farts or feet.
Oh, feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that could be pretty bad too. Yeah. My dog farts a lot.
Yes, our dog does too. I got two
What?
cats and a little puppy dog.
Yeah, I've got well, mine's a puppy too. Well, she's 9 months old now,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got two cats and a pup. Yeah.
I have
What are yours like?
well, okay, the older cat, she
Mm,
is very loving, and yet she just doesn't give a fuck. She has no fucks to give.
yeah.
The little one, we just got her about 4 or 5 months ago. She is ferocious. She will climb into anything like an escape artist, and she will show up when you least suspect it. And she just, oh my God, she is just a little terror. Um, we got her fixed recently. We thought that was going to be an improvement, but it wasn't.
Sometimes it doesn't really work. Yeah, because my little girl cat, she is
Uh-huh.
desexed, but she
Yeah.
sort of still thinks that she's not, and so she sort of acts like she's in heat, and
Yeah.
I think she thinks she's pregnant because she makes nests. And then the boy cat, we've got a boy cat,
Hmm.
who I think he thinks he's a dog
Yeah.
because he only likes dog food and dog treats and carries things around in his mouth like a dog. Fetches, yeah, he fetches things. And then I have a dog I just rescued about
Oh.
4 months ago.
Hmm. Oh, that's
And what about
wonderful.
you? What's your dog like?
Well, okay, she just barked up a storm just a moment ago. I don't know if you can hear her. She
Oh,
is very protective and very loyal, and she always wants to play ball. You know, she's always bringing the ball to us. Throw it so I can catch it. You know, kind of a thing. And
yeah,
she's just a very loving dog, but she needs to get her barking under control because she does it unnecessarily a lot. You know,
yeah. Yeah, I'm working on that with mine.
you
But
know.
she's really, really loving and adorable. Oh,
Case in point,
she's.
mm, case in point, the barking she just did now. You know,
I can't really hear her.
that's good. Well, my door's closed, so
Mm,
that's probably it. But I
yeah,
can hear her.
yeah. Um, yeah, I just love animals. I have lots of
Hmm.
birds here. They're wild, but they're sort of tame.
Hmm.
I love all animals.
How frequent are the kangaroos over where you're at?
Well, there's kind of none round where I live right here,
Uh huh.
but they're more into the bush. Yeah, I have seen one, but
Nice.
yeah, we used to have them on when I grew up on the farm. We had a little pet one,
Hmm.
a
Yeah,
little Joey. Yeah,
yeah. I see them. You know, they got their hands in their pocket, and they
yeah,
they'll probably kick you if you get too close.
yeah. They're really sweet though. If you grow up with them, they don't hurt you.
Hmm. Yeah, there was a movie in the late '70s. Um, what was it called? Matilda. Elliot Gould trains a kangaroo to become a boxer, and
Oh,
this stuntman Gary Morgan, who I've interviewed, played Matilda. They put him in a kangaroo costume, and like Robert Mitchum was like the promoter or something, and it was a bad
Oh,
movie. But like I'll always think of that movie when I think of kangaroos.
oh wow! I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it was.
I did. Robert Mitchum was such a great actor, though. I loved him.
Oh, the best. One of the best, like, tough guys and anti-heroes on screen. I love him in everything.
Mm, yeah, me too.
He was great. I have a
Yeah.
joke. I have a joke for you.
Okay.
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
Um, a girl?
They
No, what?
Everyone guesses that. No, a liar.
Yep. I would think so.
Having a son, you know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
My mom grew up with
Mm.
two brothers. She's like, you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Your mum did.
Yeah,
She grew up with two brothers.
yeah,
My mother was an only child and kind of a raging narcissist.
yeah. I know my grandmother was one too, and we were all narcissistic adjacent in my family. It's like we're very selfish, but we're also very kind and caring. It's a weird balance.
Yeah, yeah.
Linda, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for being my 23rd hundredth guest today. This has been just
Wow,
magical.
I'm honored to be. I'm honored to be such a round number.
Yes. And I'm so glad that, things are better for you now and that you got to be in such great cult movies. And I just wish nothing but the best for you. And I hope,
Oh, thank you. You're so
yes,
sweet.
yes. And, I hope, everything's good and, be safe out there.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, well, you have a great day.
You have a great day. Be safe.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye bye. Well, there you have it. Linda Kerridge. Ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my God, what a great lady. I loved every moment of that conversation. She was just so wonderful. I mean, God, you know, she's the Australian Marilyn, whether she likes it or not. I mean, in those cult movies, she was so fantastic. Just gorgeous and sexy and just so humble. And I enjoyed every moment of that. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!